Hello everybody. Back again, gonna work out. What the hell? Kind of had to abruptly stop yesterday. So now it's time to figure out what the hell is going on with this missile that's supposed to fly up here. And as soon as it gets off screen, it's supposed to spawn another missile that's going to come in from the side. So right now, it just flies off the screen and gets destroyed. So there it is spawned, and then it flies up. Frame. And now it's off screen. And one more frame. Oh, I wonder what its like bounding box is. Maybe it was still on screen in the previous frame. Interesting. All right, so let's figure out why it's getting destroyed. Is it getting destroyed from where I call destroy here? And if so, then maybe this object spawn is just not working. Okay. I guess unplay and do a pause play. No, that's gonna take too long. Oops, pause. Same thing. Okay, yeah, it is getting destroyed. So this object spawn is what's not working. So let's see what's going on in there. Ah, here it is for the other one. Suppose for some reason it's spawning two as well. That's also weird. Let's jump in here. Okay, so this is actually okay. Data ID, count, delay 0.2, y offset 0, y position is 0. Okay. Lock position with spawn phases is false, force rate is false. So that's going to fire the event, and then what is listening for that event? I believe it's the level event system. Let me see here. Level event tracker. Is it register game event handlers? No. Yeah, here it is. Oh, do I just not have this? Do object spawn? I just never registered the handler for it. That is really weird. Guess I never tested that after refactoring this. This will be object spawn. Object spawn and events do object spawn. Oh yeah, right. I'm still wherever I am. Is there something wrong? Oh my god. I'll just go ahead and stop this. I assume maybe this is causing an issue. Yeah, okay. Now let me go back and remove this breakpoint that apparently isn't getting hit anymore. Visual Studio. Okay. Now this isn't even moving? Oh, right, because there's a... Yeah, what is this weird bug that it's not saving these values? Maybe something's not getting... I mean, if it's saving, the database isn't saving, and it's getting reloaded somehow. Let me see here. It's not properly marking something as dirty. And change check is right here. Reassigning this. Maybe this is what needs to be, but any one of these would trigger a change check. And these values are working just fine and saving just fine. I believe so anyway. Let's go back to the actual missile here. Oops. So that, the actual missile, follow player, and it has these min-max values. Okay. Why is this one refusing to save? It's definitely saving. You can see it saving. Like if I change the speed, watch the mouse cursor will change it to a spinner. There briefly, it was a spinner. Acceleration 0.1. You can see like every time I type. Oh, and the Y direction has to be 1. Right? So with that, it works. But then for some reason, let's look at the level database. No, I mean the object spawn database. So it's probably the last one that I ever entered. Yeah, here it is. Has a phase. Is it because... Where is simple? Aha. So it's able to save temporarily, but it's not serialized. How is it saving at all? Okay. There we go. Now maybe we'll actually see it here in the list. Properties. Ah, man. Okay, here we go. Simple movement data, there it is now. And the values have been reset again. But now it will actually save. 0.1. Okay. Oh, so now it might actually spawn something. And there it is. Aha, what is happening here? Is this every time something spawns? Spawn category, spawn data.category ID. So sometimes spawn data doesn't exist for some reason. Let's try to spawn a second one. Spawn data is null, data ID is blank. What is trying to spawn so much? Twice. Wait, why are these things? Oh no, those are the normal ones. What is happening? Why is Unity being unresponsive? Okay. That's these that I spawn in manually. Let me just disable that for now. Okay. So this is fine. So the issue came up when I was spawning them myself. Boom, it's okay. There are 3 audio listeners in the scene. It'd be nice if you told me exactly where they were. I think I know where a couple of them are. And maybe that's why the audio levels are kind of off sometimes. Let's see, is there one on the camera? There is. Is there one on the level? Audio source, no. Ah, this is probably when I added all those other cameras. Right, so I do have a second camera. If I can find it. Did I? Oh yeah, there's main camera and 3D camera. Right, so a 3D camera does not need an audio listener. Let's go ahead and apply that. I'll just have to do that here as well. Okay. So there's another audio listener on main camera. Can I search by like component? Like if I do level, if I do like what's a component here? I guess typing in audio would have brought up the other audio listeners. Oh, HUD camera. Sorry, there it is. Yep. That's the other camera I was looking for. Yeah, cameras come with audio listeners by default. I guess that's Unity's way of making sure you actually have one. Okay. So here I'm not actually there. Okay. So let's figure out what the error is going on when these other guys are spawning. Why they don't have a sprite anymore? I'm not exactly sure. Alright, so this guy I'm just going to wait till later. Put these guys over here. Okay, so they did spawn. Again, they're spawning 2 each time as well. What to do about that? I know that's one of these is coming in with a blank, so I need to see when the event is actually fired with a blank, which is what happens when you create a new one of the, like where did I put this, the definition of this thing? Oh, this is level event tracker. I need to go to game events. That's right, so somebody's calling this, somebody's calling this. Let's figure out who they are and why there's a blank data ID. Now here's one. Let's check the call stack. Next update. This is coming from object spawn movement. Right here, actually. So somebody has. Now that's weird. Is everybody calling this? Is that what's happening now? Spawn when off screen is never null somehow? Huh. Let's find out. Yeah, it seems like everything that exists is trying to call a spawn when off screen because they start off screen. Okay. Just like, God, this stupid window. I never want this there. It's nice. Why isn't it always on the right? Oh, yo, man, what's up? Just doing some debugging here. Got part of the background boss missile thing working. It needs some tweaks, but just getting the, I guess you could call it mechanics of it working. Oh, nice. On Discord. Okay. So that's going to be in phase data, right? Where's the spawn when off screen stuff? No, that's in phase spawn data. Yeah, object spawn when off screen. It's right here. It is definitely null. Oh, and here when it's copied, I guess I will initialize it to null. And then if object spawn on off screen is not null, then copy over these values. Otherwise, I mean, it's gonna be null. Like, I'm being paranoid. And then in the movement, when it's loading the movement phase, simple movement data is this phase data, simple movement data. Oh, right, this is not that, but this is this special stuff. Okay. So this might be null. Oh, but if it's not, right, okay. So let's see if it's actually not. Can we go back to Unity? Unity? Unity. Okay, so it's still happening. Why is this getting set to just like this default thing? It's not like I'm actually setting it to null. I mean, is it because it's getting serialized and deserialized, and so it is a thing? Okay, so I'm gonna just have to check for this spawn data ID instead. Okay, when I'm copying this, make sure it's not null. Spawn and off screen dot data ID not blank. Don't they have like a is blank? No? Okay. Maybe like a dot trim. Whatever, it's never gonna be like anything else. It's not an empty string. Then do this. And same thing over here. Now what's gonna happen? Unity's gonna again like crap out for probably 30 seconds because I'm making code changes while it's running, which is what we're supposed to be able to do. So I'm gonna have to stop the debugger and let it compile that way, so I can freak out faster. and then restart the debugger. And then play it again. Load file failure. Man. Okay, now we're back to normal. These guys are spawning. And these things all have HP. Oh, what? Why am I able to move the ship? Ah, what the hell? Now this thing got on screen. Man, this is so frustrating. What broke here? Why is this? I have normal controls? I'm not dead. I've never seen this in such slow motion. Let's turn the jetpack on. Come on. It's so slow. Oh, and now I can't actually like undo this slow motion. Oh, and also the jetpack doesn't work, right? It's like not actually doing it because I'm in like a different state. So I'm just gonna continue to fall. Okay. Anyway, that's a weird bug that's happening now. Because I don't know, we'll have to find out. I do know that apparently I'm still getting the in-ship update, right? If I'm in the ship, I should be here. Sorry, here. Special if lock actions. So lock actions should be true. So if control back, what is this? Temporary disable blocking. If control block up. Got it, okay. Control block hold. Okay, so none of these things are happening. Were these things somehow happening? Because this is an else statement. Let me do something else. Yeah, let me do blocker is false. Calling it blocker is going to cause confusion later. Blocker is true. Right, and then just do like blocker. And then we're always in here for sure. At least for now. I mean, sorry, if not blocking, right? So control attacks, secondary hold, set player input. Okay, this is to attack. Alright, so that's just allowing me to attack if I'm not blocking. Okay. So lock movement. So this is totally separate. Okay. So what ends up setting the other thing? If lock actions. Okay, if control cancel. Here's where we start. EMS fire input show skills. Also what's happening is setting the game time. This is totally working. Get unlocked skills. So maybe this skill list is broken. And what it's going to do is selected skill index is going to be 0. And here's where that is. So if selected skill index is greater than or equal to 0, which it seems like what happened was it wasn't, so it was just jumping back down into here. Even though it was getting, if I do a cancel, it calls hide input skills, and exit skill list will also happen. So why am I still able to control the player? Let's watch this phenomenon in action again. Okay, so I get this file load failure, first of all, because it can't find assembly. And I don't know why, because I deleted all the assemblies, even core data, which has this save file dumb stuff. Is this somehow part of the save file now? It's possible. I can delete all the save files. I don't actually remember where I'm saving them. I think it's in like user data in the file system, and I don't want to look through my file system right now. It's sort of like users, username slash, what is it? Like app data, that hidden folder, slash local or whatever. That's where I'm saving files to. So I don't think this is related, unless it's the reason that I can't load my skill list. And if I have no skill list, I like how that triggers a change because I changed the UI. Oh, okay. You can just start the call and I'll pick it up. So I have no skill list. Let me add them. Let me remove them. What is this? So argument out of range must be non-negative. Must be non-negative. Oh, and less than the size of the collection, right? This collection is 0. But that's suddenly... Is that what allows me to get controls again? Let me see. I don't know. Hold on, let me put an actual item in the list now. Yeah, so now it works, and now I can... So that bug is what like basically breaks the iteration of the update loop. So if I have no skills, it's bad. So what I should probably do is just make sure that this won't work if I have no skills. Yeah. So get skill list. If skill list is dot size or whatever count is 0, then I'm not going to do anything. So if it's just greater than 0, then I will do stuff. Oops. That's what I want to do. Okay. Indent, and then go ahead and do that too. Otherwise, I'm just going to log some errors for now. Log error. You have no skills. No skills. Check the save data, or else something else is really wrong. Or maybe add some UI in case we want the ability to have no skills in game. Yes? And here we're getting another load file failure. This is just really weird. Okay. So now I can't even... Right, so now I have no skills, right? Which means that the file saving is probably failing. Or the file saving is trying to do something specific, and then the next file load fails, which then maybe clears the file. To look at the logic, what's going on there. So let me add like haste, at least. In here. Okay, I can actually do something with that. Still not enough to there. Alright, so these missiles are pretty hard to destroy. Now that one goes, and it launches another missile. And that's pretty good. Let's add some wait time to that. Let's just, so I'm gonna screw off with these with this save file scales thing and get back to this missile thing. Just gonna move this back to the beginning of the timeline. The beginning of the timeline. And then I'll make sure that this background missile has this special event, and it will spawn. I can make it spawn 2 missiles, I guess. But I want this seconds off screen to be 2. I want to wait 2 seconds before maybe it dies. Or even just 1. It'll go off screen, and then now 2 seconds later, it'll spawn a missile. That's 1, 2. And there it is. And there's actually 2 of them. I should actually see why the object spawning is spawning 2 things simultaneously. Okay, that. I love how everything just dies on collision immediately. I'm guessing those missiles would end up doing like ridiculous damage to me. Alright, so let's save this actually. I'm surprised. Oh, so I think I'm on focus or something. I'm on focus mode when I'm streaming. Like it doesn't send me notifications. So let me just go and check. Yep. There it is. There you are. Okay, let me activate Discord audio there. So now your audio's in the stream. Anyway. I'll be streaming for about another hour, like 50 minutes or so.
Oh, okay. For a stream?
Yeah.
Are you gonna go to lunch?
Yeah. Take a break, and then I'll probably be back on again unless we have other important shit to take care of. So,
Okay.
in either case, you can backseat and tell me how bad my code sucks if you'd like.
Okay. It stinks.
It smells really bad.
Mhm.
That's actually a term that some people use. Code smell. It's so
Yeah,
annoying.
it seems weird.
It's so annoying. It's like what developers use to talk about other people's code. Like when they see the way that they name their member variables and whether or not they have consistency or they're initializing things in specific ways. And it's like, the first time they're looking at the code and they're like, oh yeah, it has bad code smell.
Weird.
Yeah. Elitists, I tell you. Anyway, yeah, so I'm doing this boss missile thing. I don't know how much you've actually seen of it. Let me make it only spawn 1 instead. It makes more sense. So this is the... Can you see the stream?
I can see the stream, it's just a little behind.
Yeah, I think there's still like a 10-second delay.
Mhm.
Anyway, so this is the missile, which you will see in about 10 seconds. I'm circling it. It's going to shoot up, and then once it's off screen, 2 seconds later, another missile will appear on screen, but it's of a different kind. Right? It's also not
Okay.
rotated correctly. I don't know why. It's rotated here, but when it spawns, it sets its rotation back to like regular.
Forward.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see? And it goes off screen. Like 2 seconds later, and there is a missile appearing, right? So that was the idea, right? It's like shooting up from the background, and then it's coming in the screen. It's not supposed to appear at the bottom, obviously. But that is the basic idea. We hadn't settled
Okay.
on whether the missile that was in the background was actually going to be a 3D model or not. I thought that it might be easier for you because then you could model it literally coming out of the missile launcher. Like,
Where like it's pointed at the screen and then it goes up a little bit, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're looking at the boss at such an angle that you can't even see the opening of the missile launcher, then it really doesn't matter.
Mm.
Then none of that matters. Um, I'll leave it up to you because either way we can layer it with the 2D 3D thing.
Yeah, because when it's further away, there might not even be enough pixels to kind of like where you even see it. So even just showing something shooting up into the air might be enough.
That's true too. Like it could be a silhouette of some kind.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, and that'll be like for the further like when you're at it the furthest away, it could just be a silhouette, and maybe when you're in phase two, it's something a little more detailed, and then in phase three, you're not even up that high vertically to even see that. So you would maybe just hear the sound of the missile launching, and then you would see them come into view.
Yeah.
And I guess this we'd have to get the size of the missiles correct. So like they're probably really big because like like when you're at the closest to this giant robot, its torso is like massive, taking up a lot of the screen, right? So
Yeah.
the size of the missile in comparison is probably pretty big, and that size has to be consistent when the missile's actually coming onto the screen, the missile that you actually jump on, right? That's always has to be a consistent size, and it's probably going to be a 1-to-1 ratio of the size it should be when you're at the closest level to the boss.
That's pretty tiny then for the robot.
Not 1-to-1 the robot being the same size as the missile, but like
No, I know.
you
I'm
know what I
just
mean.
saying like
You think the
if
robot
you're
is
right,
pretty small? Oh, or
no, no,
the
no.
one that I
The
have currently.
missiles would be pretty small because you're saying that like the 1-to-1 ratio of the missile is when you're really up close, which means that's the size it's shooting off the body of the robot. And if it equates to the size of the missiles that we have as sprites right now, that means in relation to the robot, the missiles are really tiny.
In relation to the yes, yeah. If you're using this exact size that I have on screen right now,
Yeah.
I mean, I think we have a little bit of
Well, I
wiggle
mean, I
room to
already
make
made
it
the
bigger.
missiles.
What? Say that
A
again.
little room, I guess. I already made the like a set of
Oh,
missiles,
did you?
missile
Okay,
sprays. Yeah, they've been in there for a minute.
cool. Oh no. Oh, those. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I was debating between using those and using this one, and I was like, I'll just use this super old one for this, since that missile is. We didn't really have a intention for it yet. I'm guessing it's going to be used by an enemy um, ship, unless you want to use those as the missiles.
I mean, I know there were multiple kinds of missiles. I just was updating the missiles because that was at the board.
Oh, okay. So that missile was intended to replace this missile right here.
I
So
guess you wrote the list.
okay, fair enough. Um, but yeah, I think there should be like a different missile specifically for the boss.
Sure. However you want to do it.
All right, we'll add
I
it to
just
the
figured
schedule.
that those missiles needed an upgrade.
Yeah, and I think you're right. Like, I don't like this design either. Okay. Um, I'll add that to the list. All right, now let me debug why, for some reason, it is not, or it is spawning multiple things every time it spawns a thing. And I'm guessing that's going to be in the level event tracker. I don't know if it's calling, it's probably not on an event of do object spawn, it's probably on object spawner create up here when a level game event fired. So let's go over here and just, oh no, these ones are getting, that one's not getting fired from a level event. So actually it's actually in both scenarios. So maybe object spawner.create is creating two things. Or maybe it's only this specific thing. Does everything else that gets spawned spawn two things? Let me spawn another thing. Spawn a spout. A spout? A scout. Let's see if two of these get spawned. Yes, two of them also get spawned. Okay. Okay, let's see what's going on. So does this actually get called twice? It looks like it did. Let's try that again. So this is the first time this is getting called. I'm gonna go in here just to make sure I'm off that line of code. And now I'm gonna go ahead and play, and I should land there again. And I do. Okay. So I land there twice. What about the other version of this? That's over here. That should also be getting hit from these guys. So what the hell? Why am I not hitting that one? What's not hitting here? Level event. Oh, level event. No. I'm looking for the timeline events, which is going to be here. So this is going to get hit twice also. So level time is 0.42, event time is 0.42. So what's going to happen is next level event index. Maybe there are two events. That would be some crazy coincidence. But it would account for the other things. Like if there's two of these guys getting created, of course each one of them is going to spawn another guy, not two other guys. So if that's the case, event list. 3 events. So there's only 3 events, and this one's disabled. So the event list is correct. Okay, let's just go past this then. And then it's going to check again. And this event time is not greater. 1.94, I'm still at 0.42, right? Let's go again. This one's not even enabled, so I'll just skip that. At least I thought it was. Which one is this now? Why am I still at event index 0? Oh, because I looped back around already? is already on a different frame. That's level time. No. What's happening here? It's spawning again. Now event index is 1. Alright. Still at 0.42. Okay. Next time I'm here, I'm now at a higher time. Okay. What do we got here? Level event. This should be at 1.4. What time is it? It's still at 0.42. .44, so it's going to be a while before anything else gets hit. So then here we are. So now we're at 1.94, and this is index 1. It's going to call create once. Next level event index is now 2. Jump back here. Event index gets incremented now to 2, grabbing the event. This one's not enabled. And that's the end for that frame. Coming back, we're in the next frame. And what's my index? 1 again. How did this get reset to 1? Last level event triggered index plus 1. When does that increment? Equals next level event minus 1. What is that all about? Last level event triggered index. Okay. Equals that. Plus 1. This was 2, so this became 1. How did it become 0? Oh, because this gets called regardless. No events left. Start checking for end of level. So yeah, if no events get triggered, this continues to... No, because this is never going to change.
What's the thing that's happening?
Well, the actual bug is a level event gets fired twice. They get
Is it
fired,
only this specific event or
no,
all
it's
events?
any event, it seems. And they're not getting fired simultaneously. They're getting fired frames apart because some values are not getting set correctly. The values that are supposed to record what the last event index that got fired was. So then I'm trying to figure out why these values are getting set incorrectly.
Is the value getting updated as soon as the event triggers or after the event finishes?
As soon as it's triggered. This happening every frame doesn't do anything, but if this is being altered in some way, okay, Okay, so it's always this number plus 1, and that number is always this number minus 1, so technically that should work out. It's only ever updated here, which would happen in the case of something triggering. Pretty sure it's not public, so no one else can touch it. It's not even... Okay. So let's say this is 0. So now this guy would be 1. So, well, it's going to start off at -1 probably. The very first time. So let's just reboot everything. Okay. So we're gonna come over here. Yes, this guy's -1. All right. So now we're at 0, being the next level event index that should be fired. The next one is always the last one plus 1. Right? And as long as that is less than the total number of events, look for some that need to be fired. We'll start at the index of whatever that event is, and then we'll go down the list. Unless the event, well, that doesn't really matter. So then I'll get the event at that index. I'll see that it is supposed to fire at 0.42 seconds. Our current time is 0 seconds, so I'll just skip ahead until we want to fire that event. Okay, now we do. Our last event triggered index is -1. Next level index is 0, and now we're actually firing 0. Yes, we're firing event 0. Going through that. Okay, and incrementing to be this index plus 1. The one we just fired plus 1 should be the next one. And now the next one is 1. And then we're going to go through some more stuff. It iterates again.
So you're adding to the next level event index there.
Yeah.
But aren't you in that for loop also incrementing event index right there at the end?
Event index itself, yes. So now it's 1, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Because, you know, if
well,
let's say we had
at the end of that for loop, it's going to do that anyways, right?
Yeah. Yeah. If we had a big enough delta time in between frames and 2 events were close enough together in time, they could technically both trigger. So I have to keep iterating. So nothing else is going to fire. That should be another thing. Like, as soon as I find one event that shouldn't be fired, probably the next one shouldn't be fired either, because the events should be in order of time. Which I don't do, so it's not really optimized. So found some events. So I actually did do that. So I do break the loop. As soon as I find one that shouldn't be fired, if I found any previously, go ahead and break the loop. Okay, good. And now the last level event triggered, which is basically like what was the previous one that got triggered, is always going to be the one that was recorded as next, the one that's supposed to be next, -1. So now this is 0. Okay. So now what happens is when I come over here, when I recreate next level event the next time, I'm going to do it based off of last level event triggered, which is 0 plus 1. And until that happens, I should never fire this event again. Okay, so now we're at
if that's happening per event, why do you have a for loop in there?
So currently last level event triggered is -1, even though I just down here set it to 0. So What did that? What the hell did that? Last level.
Well, because now that wouldn't after that the next level be 0, and then it's doing 0 minus 1.
Okay, hold on. So it's iterating through the loop.
Why is there
The
a loop if
next
there's only
frame,
ever one event at a time?
for the reason that I said, which is that 2 events could happen at the same time. Or very, very close within time. And depending on the delta time between frames, I could have skipped over both their times, so fire them both. Um, so for some reason, this ended up becoming -1 again, which means that this somehow became 0 again. Even though this got incremented to 0, which means that this should always be 1. So like something that equals -1 on... Oh, okay. Override level time is a thing, but that should only ever happen once. Right, on start. And start happens before any update is ever called. I'm pretty sure. Let's halt everything and restart. Okay. Okay, so override level time does come first. And it doesn't actually set it to anything. That's fine. Override level time is getting called again. Could I somehow have 2 level event trackers instantiated? Why the hell am I... Is that what's going on? Is that why everything's firing twice? I literally have 2 of these things instantiated? Because I still have stupid level manager that's not supposed to be here anymore? Is that what's happening? Oh my god. Like, that's so annoying. Okay. This guy's not supposed to be here anymore. And that's why that other bug was happening, I think.
And they had the same ID?
I mean, it's not about... It's just, there's 2 objects with the same script. There's only ever supposed to be... Like I could put in, like, some extra code to enforce that, like, stupid shit like this doesn't happen. But then... But then it still allows me to create, like... I could create a bunch of objects that all have the same script. And I feel like that's worse than just running into a bug because those things exist to, like, ensure that they don't. I mean, I could probably just, like, spit out a bunch of errors. It's like, hey, delete an object because multiple of them exist. And I feel like just so I don't have to spend another hour hunting down this bug in the future, I will do that. And that seems reasonable. So for the sake of not going crazy, I will add a static instance count. Right, and every time we start, instance count plus with instance count. Oops, instance count is greater than 1. Debug.log error. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna do this on, like, a stupid generic. I'm gonna create a brand new script just for this because I want to put it on multiple things. Let's put this in the core. And this will be instance count error. I guess I can put a generic count on it too, but so let's go ahead and say, let's give it a name, whatever we want, and we'll say max instances, and then on start, instance, oh, and then we'll put in instance count. Oh, this isn't even gonna work because it's static. And it can't be static across multiple things. So what I'm doing is dumb. What I'm doing is dumb. All right. Can I do that generically for multiple classes? Unless I keep a map based on name. Yeah. All right. So I'll have a hash map, hash set, a hash table. Everybody calls it something different. A hash set, a map. Can I just do a generic map? That's not the same map that I'm thinking of. All right. Let's do a hash table then. Hash table, name instance hash table. Let me see if this hash table works as expected. Name instance count hash dot add. Perfect. Okay. So let's try to get. I hope it doesn't have that like try get. Get hash code, get object data, get type. How do you get? Count, clear, remove. Contains key. Contains key. That'll be good. If not, contains key of our name, then we're going to do name instance hash count to add our name with the 1, right? Otherwise, if the name does exist, is there no set? So hash table doesn't like have like really. Okay. So I'm just gonna remove name or damn. I guess I can keep an instance count. That's not going to help. This also has to be static. Does a hash table not have a generic like get? This is weird. Add, clear, clone, contains key, contains value. And remove. I can iterate over all the stupid values. Alright, so I won't use a hash table. I'll use a hash set. So I feel like that's what. Let's see how a hash set works. And I guess it's supposed to be typed. First type of 1 argument. I don't think a hash set is correct either. I'm holding ints. I think a hash set is just a set. I mean, int. Name instance count hash that. Add contains, yeah, it's just a set that uses a hash. Okay. I need something that is a map, has mapping capabilities. Because I know there's something. And I know it's not this. What the hell is it? Hash map. Wait. A dictionary. Jeez, that's what the name of the stupid thing is. Dictionary. Man, I hate that. Okay. Dictionary. And it has to be typed with a type. Yep. Key. So it's gonna be string int. Okay. String. Okay. So, name instance count hash. Name instance count map. I'll do that. Name instance count map should have a contains key function. Yep. Okay. Name instance count map. Add. Otherwise, get it. It's gonna be now. It's gonna be. They don't have a get. They have a try get value. For the name, that's going to be out. Count. Can I just write the word count? Int, out int count. Do you have to do that to instantiate it? Okay, and then name instance count map dot set. Can I just set add? If add will add overwrite the previous value. Try add. Why is there no documentation there? Okay, let's see. C# dictionary. I just need documentation for it. So let's see what add does. Add specified key to dictionary, key, the value, an element with the same key, an argument exception if there's an element with the same key already exists. Right, so do I just have to remove it and add it again in order to overwrite it? Try add, try get value. Ensure capacity, get object data. I guess it's just going to be remove and add again. So it's going to be C#, C#. Where the hell is it? Am I stupid? Okay. Dictionary. Overwrite value. Oh, just point it like this. You can just reference them like that, like it's an array. So I know that it exists. So nice. That's actually kind of handy syntax, but very confusing. Name. Oh, I still have to get it. Right, so count is this, and then count plus 1. And then what we'll ensure is if name, let's increment there, put there, if count is greater than max instances. Now I'm going to spit out my stupid error here. This was way too much work just to do this. I'll just spit out name. has too many instances. Should have no more than max instances, but has instances now. Okay. Okay. What is wrong with name? Set this. Okay. Was inherited. Oh, right. Okay. Instance name. I have to make sure not to use this now. Name. Instance name. I mean, I could use name because it'll just be the name of the game object. And then I won't even have to set it. Okay, fine. Alright, let me just undo all those names now. So just delete that. And then it'll use the name of the game object. Oh, but that's also not helpful. Because the game objects could have different names that have the same thing. Yeah, okay. Ah, what am I doing? Ah, damn it. Control Y doesn't undo in this stupid editor.
Control Z. Control Y is redo.
No, I mean, Control Y doesn't redo in this stupid editor. It deletes the current line. So then I try to undo the delete line, and now I lost my redo that I wanted to do. So I'm pretty sure it's like Control Shift. Like it used to be that everybody did Control Y to redo, and now that they're starting to shift to doing Control Shift Z to redo. Which is fine because you're using the same letter and all. But it has no legacy support whatsoever. So instance name. Name. I think even like Photoshop does it as well. Like Control Y does not redo.
Yeah, it does.
It does still? I thought it didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, instance name. Okay, so this should serve my purposes, and then equals set this to something that makes sense. Whatever. Set this. Okay. Now I can attach this script to a few things to make sure that I never have something stupid like that pop up again. So not level, what am I talking about? Instance count error. Let me actually open the prefab. Come on. Remove component. There we go. Instance count error. This will be named level event tracker and max instances of 1. So if I play, I do not, because the static variables aren't getting cleared every time because of that stupid thing to make the actual game load faster. Okay, hold on. Project settings, where was that in like, it might be an editor. Yeah, enter play mode options, reload domain, reload scene. So I'll just do check reload domain and hopefully that doesn't take too long, but that'll clear all the static values. Okay, hopefully that's only the first time. Oh man. So now I have to deal with this every time. That's also why this save thing was happening, right? Something is statically loaded there probably too. Oh, and now all these other things are persisting? What's happening here? Or is it just because I'm not updating something? Why are these things, these objects, persisting here? And now they've cleared. And now they're back. And now they're gone. This is great. Okay, that just has something to do with the editor code that I'm writing. So now let me add like another object and try to put level event tracker on it. And actually give it the level database, and actually give it the object spawn database. And let's see what happens here. Maybe I'll have all kinds of errors. I didn't get an error. This is... Oh, God. This is not helpful at all. Because now I have to put the instance count error thing on this too, and then give it the same name. And why would I ever do that if I knew I was trying to control the instance count? This is so stupid, and I just wasted like 30 minutes. So I'm just going to write the code to produce the error like I originally was, and just delete this instance count error object because it's useless. Unless I give it like a class name, and then it looks through all the objects and tries to find the class name.
On every update?
No, only on start. But then I guess that doesn't prevent objects from existing later, so...
Then you'd have to know when to update that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of insane. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to individually write them as I run into these problems. So I'll just go to level event tracker and say static instance count, like I was doing in the beginning, and I guess this should have a type. On start, instance count plus, and if instance count is greater than 1, then it's error, and this will be level event trigger as to the instances should have no more than 1, but has instance count. Instance count instances. And then I still would have to reload everything for that to work. Okay, saving failed. Check the console window to get more insight. Autosave has been temporarily disabled. Error while saving prefab. Leveled up prefab. You're trying to save a prefab with a missing script. Oh, because I deleted it. Okay. Now let's add a game object with level event tracker. Set all the variables on it again. And now right off the start, okay, but there are 2 instances. But I don't want to have to reload all the static variables every time. So what I will do is, what will I do? I will just have on startup. Can I do if debug? Thank you. On startup list. no, sorry. A level event tracker array of all level event trackers. Get find objects of type level event tracker. If the length of the array is greater than 1, then do this. And then we won't have this static variable, stupid thing, and then end if. Okay, get rid of the static variable. I could go back and be happy. Being able to load into play mode faster. Editor, where was that? Here. Okay. Save everything, and all compiler errors have to be fixed. What has happened? Oh, instance count is still here. This is now level. Level event trackers. So this should, at least for the first one that gets instantiated, it'll only find 1 itself, and the second one will find 1 and the other one. And there it is. All right. And if I duplicate this, one will say, oh, but there's 2. Oh, but there's 3. Or not. Oh, it's the exact same error. It's still only finding 2. That's weird. That is very weird. If I have more of these, they should all pose the same error. Why aren't they? Does logging an error break something? Does that somehow prevent execution? If I don't log an error and I just log. No. Why? Why is this happening now? Like, this should get called many times. This is so unrelated to what I wanted to do, but
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and do this. Okay, so we got 1, 2, and that's it. And it never lands in here again. Did debug get turned off? That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense because that's a preprocessor command. Start is just not getting called on these other ones. Are they losing? Are they getting deleted? They're all still here, and they all still have the script. I am losing it, unless level data.get.load save data is crashing and preventing them from getting past that point, which it doesn't seem like it, but
Yes.
who am I? What's my, this is level. This is game object. This is level. Have to save the scene or something? Oh, because I was editing. Okay, so now it's gonna hit it this many times. Okay. So I was inside of a prefab, and I never saved the prefab the entire time. Okay. Now I'm confident enough. Yeah. By the time start runs, all the game objects will have been created anyway, so they'll all spit out the exact same error. Ah, man. That is so stupid. Okay, that I had to go through all that. Alright, so I got... that worked out. There's no more multiple instances of shit getting created. And the rockets, the missiles, sorry, are getting... are spawning like they're supposed to from the other missile that also spawns. So, all good. I am potentially coming back. I'm going to take a lunch break, a couple hours, and then probably be right back after that. If not, then maybe a little on the weekend. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not even going to try and speculate. Anyway, thanks for hanging out, guys, and I'll be back. Yeah.